Hey y'all, Jesse Petersen here with Let's Make Art. I'm a mixed media artist and I love art journaling, and I have a fun project for you today. It's called Layers of Life. And this is Keenan. He's
Hello.
our camera guy.
Yes.
And our art cheerleader and our knower of some facts.
Some.
Couple. Just couple. Anyway, I'm excited about this project that we're going to do today, and it's in the theme of Wabi-Sabi, which has been a fun theme to work in. Okay, so let's talk about our supplies, and then we'll talk about the prompt, and then we'll set an intention, and then we'll get started making art. Okay, so we got some really beautiful paint colors that we're working with. We are using acrylic paint by Dina Wakley Apricot, or Apricot, whichever one you want to say.
Yeah, whichever.
Cheddar, Marine, Fuchsia, and we're going to use some white gesso. And if you are a subscriber, you may have some Yes paste that looks like this little guy in your box. I just go for the big guy now these days because it's easy for me to work quickly with on camera. Whatever you got is fine. If you're not a subscriber and you have acrylic paint, you can still do this project with us and just have a lot of fun. Just mix it up. So it's totally fine. Okay, also, we are going to use this monolith graphite pencil, which has been really fun. We're going to use a round 8 brush, and a 1/2-inch oval mop brush. And then a palette knife for the Yes paste will be nice. Have some water handy, paper towel. We got collage paper that we're going to be using for this. And if you want, you could gather a couple other pieces of collage paper. I have some typing paper that I'm actually going to do some writing on. If you have some layers of life that you want to add in here, you can do that as well, like a receipt or whatever, and I'll talk more about that in the prompt.
Like a McDonald's receipt?
Yes, or Wendy's in your case.
Okay, that's fair. Yep, I would use the Wendy's for sure.
I mean, don't you want to be sponsored by, okay.
I do.
All right, so let's get to our prompt. So if you're new here, we like to use a prompt and a technique card to do an art journal. And this was, I developed it this way because I thought sometimes we might be inspired cerebrally by something, and then we get excited about making something, or sometimes we get inspired by something visual or new technique or new supply. And so I thought, this is a way we can get inspired, and you can mix them up and match them however you want. You can do them from the previous projects and mix those up. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so our prompt is called Weathered. Have you ever thought about sedimentary layers and how they show weather and erosion over a period of time? Let's explore the Wabi-Sabi idea of weathering and try illustrating a passage of time in an abstract landscape piece by building some layers with collage paper and textures. You could try including something from your daily life as well, such as a receipt, like we talked about, or a scrap of paper, or part of an envelope from mail you received. Whatever you got laying around that you think would be fun to throw in here, you can do that. Try experimenting with covering up some of the layers pasted down with gesso and paint while letting some other ones show through. And that's kind of what I did here. Okay.
Fun.
Yeah, so we're gonna pick out some collage paper. We're gonna tear those. We're going to paste them down, and then we're gonna add some gesso and paint, and we're just gonna have a good time with this. This is a lot of fun. Okay, before we get started though, I want to set an intention, and I like setting an intention because it just gives us a chance to like reset ourselves and get ready to create. So good job on showing up for yourself and making time and space to create. That's the first and hardest step, I think, of making artwork.
Every time.
Every time. It's like, okay, I got to make time and I get my stuff out and get started, because I get distracted so easily. Or I feel like a little bit guilty, like I should be doing laundry or something else.
Yeah, making food.
Yeah, snacks get me sidetracked. But that's okay. Just bring your snacks to your art table. That's what we like to do here.
Pro tip.
Okay, so when I set an intention, I like to take a deep breath. So if it's okay, we can do this together. It's not weird. And if you need to, you can go for another one. Okay, sometimes we have to step outside of our comfort zone and try new things, even when we don't feel confident. And I think that's a good thing to recognize, because it means we're growing. So if this abstract thing, you're like, whoa, I don't know, just give it a try. Just do something a little out of your comfort zone and see where it takes you. I like this project because it is kind of like the sedimentary layers like we talked about. And it sort of looks like it could be a landscape. It's just kind of a lot of layers and feelings, and it's a lot of fun. So let's go for it. Ready?
Big fan. Ready.
Okay. So first thing we're gonna do is select some collage paper and elements. So so we cut this out from another project, but I think this piece right here looks awesome. So I'm gonna get that ready. And I'm actually gonna tear this a little bit. So I think that would be cool to do that.
Yeah, I like the torn things. I thought of a good worn, weathered, thing. The middle console of every car I've ever had has always had layers of life.
My van has that with my kids' snacks.
Ooh, kids' snacks? Yes.
Just, and like, whatever toy they were into that day comes in the van. We could solve the world's problems with just the contents of my van, I feel like.
Unhappy child, here's a random toy.
All right. We're stuck on the side of the road and we don't have any food. Hold on, let me find 14 snacks.
Yeah, here's the food.
Okay, so I'm liking that key. I'm liking this little piece here. And put those right there. Let's see. I really like this feather. So I'm gonna figure that out. I'm just gonna tear it. You can do whatever you want. If you feel like cutting it, that's okay too. Sometimes it's just therapeutic to tear stuff. I mean, I think it feels great. Let's see. Oh, I liked this big trees. I think I had that right there, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go for that. Now I'm gonna wanna use these words right here, so I'm gonna be careful not to tear those. So I wanna use those later. Okay, so we got this. We got a feather. We got that. I think I like this rusty texture. It's just so fun to tear it. I'm liking that. Let's see, I had a key. This is gonna turn out different than I did before, so that's okay though.
That'll be fun.
I think I want more. I think the first time I tore this, I tore it straight across, but I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, liking that. So that guy can go under there. Then I had something sideways. This. It's funny to try to find what I made before.
It's like a treasure hunt.
I know, it's like this is not the same, that right there, but it's right. Something that says institution was right there. Huh. I don't know, when am I gonna find that? Maybe it was like this, yeah. There it is, look at that.
Did you find it?
I did it.
Wow.
Yeah. My brain does the same thing. It likes what it likes. I was like, that looks good. Oh, that's exactly what I had.
We call those layers of life habits.
Oh, so funny. I don't know what this is. What's that? I don't think there's enough on there for me to recognize what I'm doing it. I think it's probably this up here because that's what feels right to me right now.
Trust your instincts. Use the force.
It's going to be great, even if it's not the same thing. Okay. All right, so we got some stuff. And you don't be precious. Just tear it, have fun, whatever. I mean, unless being precious makes you feel good, and then you do that. That's great. So I'm going to put these right here. And then I want to just show you how fun this pencil is. I'm just going to write step outside. So it's great just as a pencil. But then you can add a little water to it. This is on typing paper. Whoop. And so it gets a little smeary. Kind of cool.
Looks cool.
And the more lead you have on here, the more you're gonna get that effect. It's just soft though. Not nice.
Oh, that is nice.
So.
Can kind of drag it around a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So back in, when was it? April of last year, I did a project that we did with layers, and we journaled and then we painted over it, and that was really just like felt good to do.
Yes.
So you could go back to that one and kind of play around with that idea as well. So we're just doing that a little bit here. I just wrote some things that we said in our intention, and I'm just gonna rip that off. Now I could keep free writing and then just take some of those pieces and add in there. That could be really good too. I actually think it would be cool if you like threw in your grocery list or handwritten grocery list or something in there. That would be a really good layers of life.
That would be a good layer. A kid quote.
Oh my gosh, yeah, some of the funny things my kids say. Has your kids said anything memorable and funny this week?
Oh man, I need to be better about writing things down. My girls asked me if I knew any jokes, and I don't have any jokes just laying around, so I went after their example, which was knock knock joke.
Oh yeah, knock knock
and
jokes.
I told a knock knock joke about a banana and an orange, and at the end of it, my youngest Vita, she giggled and she just goes, "Classic."
Just like you would. That's
like
hilarious.
I laughed so hard.
I love it.
I loved it so much.
Well, I was trying to get Lois going after the time change, and I was like, it's an hour different. The time has changed. It feels earlier. I know you're tired, but your body's going to get used to it. She said, I don't think so. It's the middle of the night. It's like, that's understandable. Let's see. I think I'm going to do like...
We were eating dinner. My oldest is very picky, Eleanor.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure why. It's probably my own fault. But my brother said, "Hey, you should. Don't you want to do it like this?" And she looked at her meal. He said, "Why don't you eat it like this?" And she's like, "I don't want to do that." And we're like, "Okay. Well,
right,
that's very clear. It's very polite."
Yeah, Lois just says no thank you to people like that. She's like, no thank you. Okay. I think I kind of like that little piece right there for the bottom. Probably don't need that much. We'll just save this good stuff for another pass. All right, so I think we got some good layers. What do you think?
I think those layers look great.
All right. I'll put our example over here. We'll get started on our thing. Okay.
Oh, Vita's been saying, "well, mostly," at the end of her sentences. So she tells me something she thinks is true, and then she goes, "well, mostly."
I wonder where that came from.
I don't know, but it's cute.
It's really cute. Okay, so yes paste. Spin that on here, moving it around. Get a nice even layer. Yes paste. So I put a glob on there and then I just scrape it so I get a thin layer. And that kind of works for me. Get it nice and even. And this stuff sticks really well. And I just got a little bit on my page, but that's okay because we're going to just keep pasting stuff on here, so it's going to work out for us. And yeah, this is super long and it's not going to fit my page. If that's okay, I'm going to trim it off. But I have this straight edge at the bottom that I'm just going to line up with the bottom of my page, which makes it easier. I just love this yes paste because it's repositionable. So if you don't get it like quite right, you still have a little time to move it around. See that?
Mm-hmm. That's convenient.
This is me singing the praises of Yes Paste because that's why I love it.
This is not a sponsored ad.
I love Yes Paste. Okay, that is looking good. Good layer. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna put this guy right there. Oh yeah. We're just gonna make this one piece at a time, one layer at a time. Kind of like the Johnny Cash song.
Exactly.
We might have a 59, 69, 72 sort of layer thing right here in a minute. Are you familiar with the song? We're talking about it before. If you guys don't know what Johnny Cash song I'm talking about, he built a car over a period of time with the parts that he collected.
Piece by piece.
Well, the song. I don't think he actually did that in real life.
He may have. I'd like to think that he did. I don't think I'd ever heard it until today, actually. Which shocked Jesse.
It's okay, because I said, I'm just thinking about Johnny Cash today. He's like, oh, yeah, Johnny Cash. So I had to play it for him before. It's a good one. Okay, my hands are getting sticky, but just put them in some water, and that sticky goes away. Okay, now I think I'm gonna do this layer next. And I just like the idea of the feather peeking through. I don't know that I need to have like a ton of the feather, but I think I do want a little bit of this right in here. Have that.
Oh, that looks good, yeah. I like that color.
All the textures that I chose for the collage paper was just so fun. Like these rusty textures, I love it. I love to go to like a thrifty sort of store. Not like the upscale antique places. The more junkier ones, those are my style. I really like those. And sometimes they have like equipment laying outside that's been in the weather for a minute and it's all rusty. Oh, I love those textures. Like an old white rusty wash bin, or I don't know, farm equipment.
I think of train tracks.
Ooh.
And train cars.
Yeah, like those. What do you call it? Rods on the track.
Yeah.
It's like a rail tie.
Yeah,
Gosh,
rail
that
tie.
took me a minute.
There it is. Found it.
I didn't think it was going to come. I was like, where am I going here?
Words.
Now, I'm trying to make this similar to the example that I made for us, but you can do whatever you want, okay? We're not getting too picky here. I do think I don't want to turn that black line off. I don't want that on there. Let's use my X-Acto really fast. And if you don't feel comfortable X-Acto yet, just keep watching because I'm obsessed with mine. But you could also wear scissors. Use the scissors. Wear scissors, my goodness.
X-Acto's pretty fun. It's like drawing.
Drawing with a knife, it's my favorite. Okay, and just continue on with these layers. Let's see, I'm gonna do this one next. One piece at a time. I gotta put it somewhere where it's not sticky. Everything is sticky.
Good luck.
Yeah, so I wash this cutting board pretty often so that I can get the glue off, and it just comes off really easily. The gesso, not so much, but the glue.
You mean the cutting board didn't come looking like that?
No, I had to make it artsy. Weird, right?
Yeah, that is weird.
And I'm trying to keep this with like darker elements in the bottom sort of third, just to create more atmospheric sort of dimension at the top, so it kind of looks like a landscape. I mean, this isn't like super duper landscapey. It's just kind of a fun idea. My hands are still sticky. All right. I thought that I tore some orange somewhere. I think I was liking that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I want it under this. See how easy that is
Whoa.
to just lift that up real fast?
That
Because
is easy.
it
Holy cow.
has a longer working time than other glue. So you have time to change your mind, which I really appreciate. I like to be able to change my mind. I do it all the time. Okay, now we can just put that back down. Oh yeah, that was meant to be.
Meant to be.
I like it. Okay, there it is. This guy. Actually, I think I want a little piece like that right there too. Maybe like that.
What did you just think of?
I was thinking about my desk, and I have this big white piece of paper. You seen that on my desk? And when I have little pieces like hanging around like this after a project, I glue them down and then I make more collage paper.
Oh, nice.
And sometimes it's cool, and sometimes it's just a hot mess. Okay, I think I'm ready for my key. About that like right there. I think keys are cool too, like old keys. I always want to look at
like
those
an
when I'm in
old
those.
skeleton key.
And I like the old lunch boxes. When I'm in those kind of stores, I always like get a kick out of those. Oh yeah, liking that. Let's see. Put that right there.
When I think of layers of life, I think of a picture I saw once where, can't remember who it was or where it was, but someone that kneeled the same spot for like 30 years to pray,
Wow.
and their feet and legs left marks in the wood.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I know.
Just to think like that repetitive sort of action probably felt really calming too.
Very familiar.
There, this is the one I had right there. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. I know I love like when you can go out in nature and see like the rocks where it's eroded over time and you can see like sedimentary layers. Like I like imagining what each layer was like at some point.
Yeah, the color differences. What was going on at each layer around it? How long did it take to expose that layer? At least 7 years.
I think I'm just gonna paste that whole thing down. And I'm gonna add a little more. Okay, so it's a couple more paper layers that we're gonna add, and then we'll start adding some gesso.
You could also say there are several layers in cake.
Oh, yeah.
And that's also a type of layer of life.
Yes, that's a great example.
Birthday cake, celebration of life. There are layers in a cake.
Mm-hmm. I love a good layer cake. It's definitely a thing in the South.
As long as the layers are all chocolate, I'm a big fan.
Ganache chocolate.
Dutch chocolate.
We could just do that whole shrimp thing with chocolate. With the bubba gum.
Oh, yeah. Layer. Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's like, shrimp shish kebab, shrimp kebab.
Yeah.
Just started imagining chocolate this, chocolate that.
Boiled, steamed.
Artisan chocolate. All right. I'm going to put this right there. I like that. Let me go put this. We're getting there.
It's very satisfying to watch it come together.
It's very satisfying to get this sticky off my fingers. Okay.
I kind of like how the page, how your yes pasted pieces are sticking off the page.
Well, I'm about to trim them off.
Oh, I know, but I like how they're sticking off.
I'm just going to flip this over and put my roller down. And I'm sorry I'm getting rid of the part that you like, Keenan.
Well, it's okay, you know.
But we want to be able to use this. You can use these again
True.
or something, maybe.
Sarah gets rid of my favorite watermarks in her projects, and you get rid of my favorite fringed edges. I get it.
Oh. The beauty of this is that you can make your own, and you can make it however you want, Keenan. Make us a journal with stuff hanging off the pages. I love it. Whoops. I put the yes paste side down to my mat, and it's fine. It's fine. Okay.
I just thought of a really cool idea.
What?
What if you frame the outside of your page, for this one specifically, with torn paper? So the torn paper shows around the edge. Not everyone likes that look, but I do.
Oh, that could be cool. Okay, so I'm just going to put some gesso on my palette. And you could use, remember how I said you could use a brush just for gesso and keep that like your mixed media sort of gesso brush?
Yes.
I didn't bring mine in here, but I'm going to be really good about washing mine. But you can do that too. I've talked about that before. I'm going to use this half-inch mop. Mavis.
Old Mavis.
And I like the idea of covering up some of these layers,
Okay.
like totally, and then letting others shine through, or show through, rather. So see how that's like sort of translucent, not like super opaque.
Do you want to push that closer to your rusty clip over there?
I would love to.
Thank you.
And this gesso is going to just even act as a keeping our paper down kind of situation too, which is nice. Just gonna,
Oh, nice little sealer layer.
yeah.
Another layer of journal life. Hashtag
Yes.
journal life.
I didn't want to cover all that up, so I actually wiped some of that off just with my finger. And it kind of smeared the writing, which is also cool because that makes it feel weathered. Haha, cool, like it. I didn't plan that, but I like how it turned
Nice.
out.
Bonus.
Well, this one. This is the one I still have some gesso in. I love gesso. I use this all the time in my journals. All right, let's get this. Yeah, so if you get it too much, you can always just kind of smear it around. I don't think I described that in my technique, so it's a good thing you're here with the video to get all these extra things.
Oh, totally.
Just running with it right now.
That's why I'm watching this video.
No, that was too much. I want the key back. All right, see, that worked.
Cleaned.
Got a little gesso here. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Now I just really got into that whole smearing thing. I don't remember that I did that last time, but I'm really into it right now. So if you're not afraid to get your hands dirty, it works really well. Okay, now that we got the gesso on there, we can add some paint. And I'm loving this marine color. It's just such a great color. This is going to show up in my work a lot, I think, because I'm obsessed with it. Okay, and then I'm going to use some fuchsia, and then I'm going to mix this fuchsia with that marine, and then I think I might mix some of that fuchsia with this apricot, and we might need a hitch of cheddar, so we're using all the colors.
This is not the kind of layer cake I was imagining.
No?
Apricot, cheddar.
Marine.
Marine.
So I kind of like the idea of covering a lot of this up and kind of making a little, this could be a mountainy kind of layer or a cloudy layer. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I do like that color.
Oh, it's just, I'm into it. Just get a couple of these, like, I don't know, I think it'd be nice to, like, one nice thing about adding color is just, if you got some here, it's nice to have somewhere else, just so it kind of talks back to the piece a little bit, but we had that kind of green there, so I'm just kind of adding a little bit of that down there, liking that. I think I just want that value to be kind of darker. Add that, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of this fuchsia and the marine to get an even kind of darker purpley kind of color. You can kind of do that with it. Now I've watered it down just a bit more.
Man, that is a very satisfying color. Now I can't get over it. Great.
I'm going to mix it down a little bit with gesso. I mean, gesso is also kind of like white paint, so you can do that. And that was like a little much, because I still want to see my newspaper in there, so I'm just going to dab that back. See, no, this is not an emergency. It's going to be okay. And you can even do that with some of these other layers if you want. Just kind of use a paper towel, bring back whatever you're feeling you need. Just going to put a little bit of that in there and do the same thing. Yeah, kind of just tints it, which is fun. Okay, now we can use a little bit of the yellow. And if you put a lot more gesso on here, then your paint will slide around more. If you use less, then it's going to soak into that paper more, and you're just going to get a different effect. Okay, I'm going to mix a little bit of this. So I mixed that purpley color that I had into the yellow, so I got kind of a nice, like, warmer, mossier green. I'm just going to put that in a couple spots. Gonna mix it with the gesso because it's going to strengthen my paper in some of those areas, and it's going to be a little more subtle. So just play with the layers The fun thing about this is you don't have to paint it perfect the first time. You can just keep layering and have a good time with it. It can just be whatever you want.
I like how your newspaper clipping has the word 7 on it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's usually like my go-to number for random things. What's your password? 7.
Ooh, that's good to know.
Well, yes.
Okay, so I made a little purple and I mixed this apricot with it. So I just want a little bit more.
Jesse, your journals are layers of life.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. It really is.
Every single month that we do a journal, it's a layer of life.
Yeah, because like just little bits of like memories and things that are happening right now get in there. That's so true.
Oh man, that's such a good idea.
What?
Well, I don't know if I can explain it yet. It's still a concept in my brain.
That's okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna use my other brush and get some more gesso on here.
Currently, the concept I pictured a stack of all the journals you've completed and showing, not every page, but just showing layered, every layer there. See, it's a concept, I can't even explain it. Oh, that's such a cool image in my head, though. Really wish I could show it to you guys.
That's the struggle, right?
It is the struggle.
Now I'm just adding some white value in there to soften all these things up. You guys are really seeing like my process because it's not, it never like just, when I'm doing this kind of thing, it just evolves. I'm like, not sure how I did this the first time, but it's gonna be cool. I mean, I just instructed us to just have fun with the layers, like,
That's true.
you know, but. So yeah, and then that next layer kind of softens those darker layers in a little bit. It makes kind of a transition of paint. And the more layers you have, the more I feel like interest there is as far as like the back and forth kind of feeling. Yeah, now this paper looks like it's been through something, right? I'm going to mix a little bit of the cheddar with the apricot now. Whoop, get in there.
I'm not sure why. This makes me think of the movie Newsies.
Oh, because of the newspaper?
It could be. It could be.
Okay, so I just made this color and I'm just gonna add it a couple places, kind of warm some things up here and there. Just have fun mixing your paint and deciding where it goes in these layers, because that's half the fun, I think. Now I'm gonna mix it down.
Like a custom puzzle that you get to decide where the pieces go.
Yeah, yeah. I could do this all day. I love it. Okay, I think I want a little bit more of this marine, but like lighter. So I'm just gonna add a little gesso to it up in here.
Oh, that's nice.
It's kind of closer to what I did before. I think I had more newspaper showing in that spot, but that's okay. I'm gonna put more white over here. Let's mix that out a little bit more. And then I think I want this to be a little darker in there. Because when we go back over with the little, we're going to do some sort of spray dots over this, these darker areas are really going to pop. And that'll be nice. Just a little bit darker right there. I know I'm really into something when the time just goes by and I don't even know how long I've been painting or what's happening. It's like I went into a time zone, a time warp, not a time zone.
Nope,
I don't have words anymore.
You're so zoned in it that you've gone to a different time. That's time travel.
Oh. I don't think that's what I'm doing. Am I doing that?
Yeah. You've traveled through time while you do art. Doesn't necessarily mean you've gone backwards or super far forward.
What do we think? I mean, is it looking like this one? I think so. My goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I try to make it similar for y'all, but it can be whatever, you know?
I think I like round 2 better.
Yeah, I feel like it feels more weathered. Like, I think I had more fun with the layers.
Yeah.
Okay, so our last step is just going to be adding that little bit of white sort of flicks.
Oh.
But this needs to be a little bit more dry, so we'll let this dry, and then if yours is still drying, you can get a snack, and we'll do that last step. Okay, this is looking dry, and round 2, as Keenan said. I'm loving how this paper wrinkle we got. Can you see that on the camera?
Yeah, totally.
And you can see how these edges are in there like that. I love it.
Nice.
Okay, last step. We're going to use a round 8. Man, I left my paintbrush on there, and this is really wet. Okay. I need to find a spot on my palette for
Water everywhere.
Yo, this is what my desk really looks like. 'Cause I just get into it, and I just keep on going. Okay, so you want your brush a little wet, so I've got some water. Man, my hands are, it's fine. You want it wet enough to flick, but I'm actually going to, oh, I've got a little water on there. Clip my journal down, like clip it right there. And I think there's lots of people who have different flick techniques,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
We're flicking some paint on there, splattering.
Splatter.
So I like to keep one hand sort of stationary and then flick hit my hand like that in this motion, and I feel like it helps me control where it's going a little bit more. Before you do this, just make sure there's nothing around that you don't want paint on. Like I have tons of paint on my laptop because I almost always have my laptop near where I'm working and there's paint on there. If that's not what you want, then maybe move your valuables away from your workspace. Okay, just a little reminder.
Or food. Food is valuable too.
Well, I've been known to eat food that had paint on it. It's fine. Okay. I'm fine. Okay, ready? Okay, so I'm getting little dots. I need a little bit more paint here. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go.
That looks awesome.
And you can kind of change the direction if you want. I feel like this is kind of like, I don't know, it's really misty right now outside.
It's
and then
so misty.
when I've lived near the mountains, they kind of get misty. It's kind of what it feels like. This is so fun. And you can do as little or a lot or whatever you want. You could even do a different color here, but I'm really liking the white because it kind of pulls everything together. I'm going to turn my page and try to do some going this way. Maybe not that much, but just add a little water. Whoops. If that happens to you, don't worry about it. We're just going to do this.
Still looks cool.
Yep.
Nice.
And I think, you know, might just want a little more white here and there just to kind of blend these things so they don't take all the attention here. I don't want everybody looking at all the newspaper. I want them to see these beautiful textures that we made too. So I'm just going to put a little more white on there, here and there. And that's something that I do. I kind of get my artwork a little farther away from me and squint my eyes. It's a real thing, I promise.
It is a real thing. No, you're right.
And then I just see, is there anything that's like dark values sticking out too much that I don't want versus light? You know, I feel
I just
really
take
silly
my
doing that,
glasses
but
off.
that's what I do. Oh yeah, that could work for you too. And then maybe just couple of more flicks there. I think we did it. Layers of life.
Beautiful.
And I think this will be a fun one to see what everybody does, because they'll do it differently, and
Yep.
it'll be their layers of life. And yeah, if you incorporate some receipts or mail or anything like that, we want to see that. That's what I love about the Let's Make Art community, is that we share our artwork, and we do that over on our Facebook group, Let's Make Art Journals, or on Instagram. If you like that, we can hang out there. You can use the hashtag Let's Make Art Journals. I can't wait to see what you made, so please share it. And thanks for being here, and good job making time for yourself to make art, and just think you're awesome. And I'm so glad that we get to paint together. Thanks. See you next time.